A to the K.
to the K.
To the K. Hello, one and all. Welcome to another week of the A to the K Wrestling Show. And as always, we're going to throw it over to Road Dogg for A to the K's little known fact of the week.
Oh, you didn't know?
Nice. So, Anthony, Elimination Chamber has just been and gone. But did you know? Since its inception in 2016, the Universal title has never actually been defended in the Elimination Chamber match itself. 6 years, Anthony. 6 years with no Universal title on the line. But, Anthony, 2 for the price of 1 this week, because in them 6 years, from 2017 to 2022, a certain superstar has appeared in every single Chamber match. Any ideas on who that might be? Every single one.
They were in this year's as well.
6 years straight, including this year's. So that should narrow it down for you a bit.
So that's what I'm thinking. 2017. I mean, could it even be AJ? Maybe AJ's been around since 2017, hasn't he?
It was AJ, literally.
I was a bit unsure with that, because he feels like he still feels like the new guy on some level. But
he does a bit.
He's been around for a time, hasn't he?
He has. He made his debut in 2016 at the Rumble. They didn't even have one that year, but still, from 2017 onwards, he's been in every one.
That's madness.
Madness
so he's
indeed.
Like the guy who does Chambers, isn't he? Really?
Well, he is. He's fast on the heels of the likes of Randy Orton and Jericho and maybe Triple H. Who knows?
Although to be fair though, how many has he won?
A big fat 0.
I'm not trying to take away from his accolade, but I could lose 6 Elimination Chambers as well. That's
why they also call you the phenomenal one, Anthony. So yeah, that was A to the K's little known fact of the week, and this is Road Dogg to play us out of that segment.
Oh, you didn't know?
Oh yeah. So let's kick things off, Anthony, with a. Let's be honest. We're talking about what happened before Elimination Chamber, so we're not going to go into too much detail on this. But also, it wasn't even that good. But we'll kick off.
That's fair. I mean, for a show that this is the last week before Chamber, this should be where we're hyping shit up.
Of course, but I found the go home show to every premium leather thing has been shite lately. So no difference.
Like the pay-per-views used to be.
Yeah, just a bit. So let's kick off with the first of 2 highlights for WWE this week. Women's Gauntlet match on Raw. I actually really liked that they did something to determine who was going to get the last spot in the Chamber. But I liked even more the fact that they actually gave some of the women plenty of chance to shine on the show. It went on for quite a while. It might have even been the longest match on the card, potentially. But it also, it did a lot of good here. So the likes of Rhea Ripley, who, let's be honest, has not really done that much in a while. She got a really good opportunity to kind of get back to prominence a little bit, had a really good showing.
She's been tag champs and stuff.
I mean,
loads.
Which would be fine if, it wasn't in WWE's tag division. But yeah, so she had a really good showing, but it was actually Bianca who obviously came out, a bit of a friendly rivalry, but pinned Rhea Ripley to earn the last spot. And I keep calling her Rhea Ripley. I do this every week. It is Rhea Ripley, isn't it? But it's fine. We'll go with it. But yeah, it seems like there was a little bit of an alliance, friendship formed there between the two of them. But let's see what happens. Is that going to set up a potential turn down the line for the likes of Rhea Ripley? Who knows?
Nah, I think Bianca is honest, so I don't think there'd be an issue between them.
I'm surprised I haven't used that one yet. Probably because it's like
struggle. I spent like the last 2 minutes of your talk and trying to think of one. So I understand why this gimmick's getting so stretched, because it's kind of hard to come up with different ests. It really is.
True. But of all the ests, that was the est right there.
Hey.
That's what I'm saying.
Nice. So, Carl, next highlight, and the only other highlight, unfortunately, for WWE, but a good one, to say the least. And it is a simple fact that we had Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton, and 2 of the best to do it, going at it. What's not to love about this as a match?
What's not to love about it? The only thing I didn't love about it...
here we go.
Well, there wasn't another curb stomp to RKO moment, because that was one of the best moments of all time in WrestleMania.
That is still... I kind of like that they didn't, though, because...
Yeah, I know.
Like, that is an iconic moment, isn't it? You're not going to recreate it, so why even try?
No, exactly. I
still see that, like, because I'm like super cool and down with the kids and that at TikTok, and I still see that clip of that moment constantly on, because obviously Wrestle Talk is what I'm mostly targeting there, so that's most of what I see is wrestling stuff, and that clip comes up a surprising amount, Carl.
Do you even talk, bro?
Mate, I do.
Oh damn. But yeah, no,
Might
obviously.
Call me carrying cross in this bitch.
All in jest, of course. Phenomenal match. Two of the best to do it. Certainly two of the best in WWE right now. So, a pairing that we don't get to see that much. We've seen it a couple of times, but not enough to the point where they're like.
In some ways, that's what makes it. Yeah, that's what makes it enjoyable, because they haven't oversaturated it. Like, I feel like WWE, definitely for certain people, have took the phrase like forever as like a literal request. But with these guys, like you say, you don't get to see it all the time, and that's good when they break it out.
Indeed. So agreed. Highlight there, and both of the highlights this week on Raw, which means another lackluster SmackDown, which we'll come on to. But the first Oh Shite I want to talk about, the opening segment, Anthony, for Monday Night Raw, was bland as fuck. Obviously
of segments.
Well, it's typical WWE booking, isn't it? It's like, well, we got a big match and there's like more than 2 people in it, so we need to remind our Goldfish fans who's actually in the match, and then we need to get them all to come out and announce their names and for them to say things. And it's like, all right, they didn't say anything of any notes or anything of interest, but yeah, they were there. They had them ramble and that, so cool.
What they need to remember with these sort of matches, right? Like, there's like a professional rivalry to it, yeah. But everyone who's gone in the chamber doesn't suddenly hate each other. So there's not really much need for an opening segment or a promo like this. Like, other than, like you say, just to remind everyone there's a match happening. Because there's not a rivalry that needs talking about.
No.
There's some elements, Brock, obviously, and Bobby have a history there. And there's elements like that. But, like, in actual fact, most of it is just a competitive rivalry, isn't it? It's like everyone wants to win the chamber. They don't all hate each other's guts. So what exactly are you going to even get out of an opening segment? And lo and behold, not much. And that's
exactly. Yeah, that's a fantastic point, to be fair, because they were just guys who qualified to be in there. Well, some of them just got handed it, as we know. But still, it was just like, well, they had nothing to really say. This was a minor step removed from the ladder match thing, where they all show they can climb a ladder. I just want to see some of them actually going into a chamber and coming out again and going, I can do it.
Open doors. I can close them. I just thank God that they haven't cottoned onto this sort of thing when Royal Rumble times come up. I have 30 men opening the show, all saying something, because it'd just be fucking pointless, wouldn't it?
Well, exactly. Oh shite. Let's move swiftly on to the next.
Indeed. So the next one, Carl, I didn't want to not like this, but there's some screwy element to it that I wasn't too keen with, and that's probably the main reason it's no shite. So I won't keep you in suspense, Carl. I know you're in suspense, even though you can see the notes. It's Damien versus AJ, and again, I don't want to knock this. Damien has done nothing but impress me since he hit the main roster, bar this current gimmick, but he's still a fantastic wrestler. And AJ, obviously, one of the best. So I'm expecting a good match. But what I didn't like was, for starters, it wasn't a very long match. For a 3-hour show, we could have had some more time with this. And they gave Priest the clean win, which I wouldn't have a problem with if they were using it to elevate Priest. It wouldn't really harm AJ, except AJ is a qualifier in the Elimination Chamber match that's coming up this fucking weekend. So all it did was serve to weaken AJ in a match that, like, he's in the world title scene. Sorry, is it the world? It is. No, WWE title. What are we calling it anymore?
I don't know.
Big title.
Big right? W belt that isn't blue.
Big W, yeah, but not the colourful one. So he's in like a main event match at a pay-per-view that weekend, and they give him a clean loss. That didn't sit right. Like, this match, I wouldn't have had an issue with the decision. It's more the timing of it and the execution, I suppose, of this match, which could have been a really good match, is probably what disappointed me more than anything. So it goes to be an oh shite.
It certainly does. Couldn't have said it better myself. So the next one I want to talk about, Anthony. Now, big time Bex. I've not been the biggest of fans, let's be honest, of this gimmick. I preferred the man significantly. I actually quite liked that. I know that you weren't the most keen even when she was the man, but big time Bex, not digging it.
Honestly, what's endeared me to the man is big time Bex.
Yeah.
We can drop that shit.
But no, I think obviously what I wasn't a fan of this week was her big time strop. This, I don't know, it looked ridiculous. Let's be honest, she's not an actress. You could see this at Elimination Chamber as well, where she did some absolutely terrible acting. But this was no different. It was awful. She had a proper little titty lip on her and was just like, and walked out. And it was like, okay, this is what sells a fight. You couldn't just do it on the fact that it's like, you have the opportunity to beat your one-time idol. No, you're going to be really upset at the fact she wants to fight you. Okay. So yeah, load of shite.
Which is mad, and also they try and emulate Conor McGregor and Stone Cold so much with their gimmick, and this just wasn't it, was it?
It certainly wasn't. No. But yeah, and also the fact just another contract signing, which we didn't get a contract signing for other matches. So
this is the one that needs the contract, quite clearly.
Yeah, exactly. The rest of just
contracts.
Do what you want.
The contract for?
Just take that Saudi money. Doesn't matter what's printed anyway.
We know what WWE think of contracts anyway. Fucking pointless. Don't matter.
This is true. We'll get to that when we talk about the news in a bit. But yeah, big from me.
Okay. One that is, whenever it's on the show, Carl, I might be overreaching there because I feel like we've ignored it a couple of times. But I can't ignore it this week, Carl. My next one is the 24/7 title scene. And I'm going to call it the scene because anything that seems to involve it is usually a fucking train wreck. So we're carrying on with the whole Dana and Reggie stuff. This week she decided to apologise for leading them on. Now, I have an issue with that because anyone who... All right, kayfabe and all that, yeah? This woman's engaged, right?
Yep.
Like, Reggie can use the internet like anyone else. Like, I'm all for kayfabe, but...
I mean, do you know what? He doesn't even need to Google it. He can literally just use his fucking eyes. If you stop doing backflips for 2 seconds and go, wait, what's that on your finger there? No way. But no.
So obviously, storyline kayfabe. She's not married. WWE never liked women to be married for some reason. Another strange little quirk. But yeah, she apologized for leading them on, and then he's like, cool, we're friends, and then he pins her. So that's that.
A whole different kind of friends with benefits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll pin you, and you can pin me.
There's a level of bias here because I think we can both agree that we're not fans of Reggie. Like, I don't get. He's not a wrestler.
I don't know what he is.
I don't. That's the thing. What is he there for?
I mean, put it this way, right? So I pulled together like the graphics for the YouTube on the show, and obviously I have to go to WWE's website and find the graphics, which is significantly easier to do than AEW's, by the way. Tony Khan, fucking get some graphics out there, please. But every single week when I want to bitch about 24/7 title scene, there's never a fucking. They don't even mention it. It's not even in the results. That's how it doesn't even matter that much. The fact they don't even talk about it on their own show report. So there's never a picture for it. There's never a write up on it. So really, why is it on the show? Because who's it for? Who is this for? I don't get it. I don't get it. So
yeah.
Well,
yeah, the whole. I'm not like the 24/7 title scene for some time, but again, there is a level of bias. I actually thought the closest they got to doing something different with it was having Dana win it. But then straight away she won it, and they fucked that up because then no one would go near her. And it's like, but it's on the line all the time.
Yeah.
So we're doing this proper, oh no, we can't try and pin her. She's a woman, and only Reggie's the one who's gone. Fuck it, I'm going to pin her anyway.
Oh yeah, but you can't even say or do that anymore anyway. So it's like I don't really get what it is.
They didn't say it, but they visually did it. Everyone stormed the ring, and when Dana won the belt, they were like, oh no, I'm not gonna start wrestling a lady. I'm off. Like, what the fuck? Meanwhile, over on Impact, Matt Cardona decided to try and
beat the shit out of Jordan Chris.
Different shows.
Yeah, slight difference there. But yeah, this was I hate the 24/7 title scene. So the less said about it, the better. Apparently, I also hate contract signings, Anthony, because the next one
I'm so glad you hate
the other
I fucking
contract signing. So this time on SmackDown, right now, I gave Becky and Lita some shit, but theirs was actually much better than this one. Okay, it was a contract signing, sure, but this was shit even for a contract signing. It just felt like there was nothing, there was no point to it. Nothing really moved anything on. Ronda and Naomi were meant to be the faces in this, but they came across like the bitches in school almost, of being like, I'm going to say something, bad about you and laugh about it. And the other two just kind of sat there doing nothing. So yeah, the whole thing was just pointless. And then obviously we have to add the stipulation in that actually you said you could beat me with one arm tied behind your back, so it's in the contract you just signed. Oh, okay. So yeah.
Honestly, I don't get what purpose that serves.
Well, exactly.
Because why would you want to give, like, say you're the bad guy in this, and you're like, which is what they were doing. Why would you want to give Ronda any reason that she lost unfairly?
Well,
Wouldn't you want to beat her and you beat her? Do you know what I mean? I get that you can have your Weasley heels, but has Charlotte ever been a Weasley heel?
Yeah, it's a good point, actually.
In
She's
all
always
fairness.
kind of been a heel, but she's always got the job done, hasn't she, really? So
That's the thing. I didn't find this in keeping with her at all, because she should have been like, I don't want you to have an excuse as to why I beat you.
No. I mean,
That's more like her.
We'll get on to how out of character this whole feud is for Charlotte when we talk about the Chamber results, because the finish of that match pissed me off to no end as well. So we'll get to that. But yeah,
Okay.
this was bad. This was bad.
Speaking of bad, Carl, and I just want to firstly say, I think for a while, or as long, maybe it's over now. You know, Chamber's been and gone. Maybe it's over. I hope it's over. It sounds like it's over. But SmackDown definitely wasn't getting any highlights from me this week because Goldberg was there. It's no offense.
It used to be fun, but it's Goldberg now. Yeah.
I can't even watch the Goldbergs anymore because he's in that as well. For fuck's sake.
I was trying to watch Jumpin' Jack Flash the other week, and Whoopi Goldberg came on screen. I just couldn't.
No. I kid, of course. I don't. I feel like it's almost become like an exaggerated point on this show now because I've moaned about him that much. I don't actually have that much of an issue with Goldberg. I have an issue with the way he's booked. Like, this match makes no sense to me. It's never made any sense to me because he's consistently lost since he come back. Like, why is he going to beat Roman? He's not going to beat Roman. We all know he's not going to beat Roman. So what's the fucking point in this? Even Goldberg knows he's not going to beat Roman.
Yeah, I loved as well. I mean, when I say I love, I mean I hated the bit where he was like, well, I must apologise because I said you're next, but when it comes to the title, I'm next. And it's like, no, you're using your own thing against yourself there, Bill. That's not how you say it. You should know what it means. Like,
it's almost like you cursed yourself because you're next and he's beating you.
Yeah, silly old man. Silly old man.
He's just confused. But again, typical boring. You know, let's have a fucking stare down. Let's try and sell this as like, but I can't sell this like no offense to Goldberg, well, kind of some offense to Goldberg, right? But this is the main issue I've got with the match is like and it is an age thing. I don't want to be ageist, but it is an age thing. Like if you look at stuff that like I'll get me point done first, and I'll do some more, right? So we've seen him struggle against Bobby. We've seen him struggle against Drew. We've seen him struggle against someone else, I can't remember. Braun, right? And he does look like he's struggling. He looks like he can't keep the pace, and I don't blame him. You know, he's not a young man anymore. He's not going to keep the pace. But this is the problem. So why? Like, I don't get how I'm meant to even be slightly enthralled by this match.
No,
and
it's
at least when they bring people back like the Undertaker, which doesn't happen all too often now. It's like the most match I've seen the Undertaker have in a long time was when he ruined John Cena in about 30 seconds. Like, and that wasn't a match. He just embarrassed them and fucked off. Like, and that's how you book him because he's a badass, but he obviously can't go in the ring anymore.
No.
But they want Goldberg to do like matches, and you're like, but he just looks out of pace, and it looks like they're having to carry him, and he looks exhausted and blown out a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's not good.
And I'm not like, because people might be like, oh yeah, well, you're one star. Like, I'm not a wrestler. You know, at the end of the day, like I'm not saying he's out of shape. I'm not saying like, he's fantastic shape for his age and that. But when you're trying to watch two people in a competitive wrestling match, that's not what you get out of this, and that's the disappointing part. You know.
Yeah, agreed. It didn't do anything to wet me whistle, if you will, for Elimination Chamber. It just made me think.
Dry,
it was big dry whistle. Happens with age. Right. Anyway, WWE scores on the doors. I'm going to give it a big fat 1 this week, Anthony. I was thoroughly underwhelmed, unfortunately, especially when it's the kind of road to the Elimination Chamber, the big wrap-up shows. Just not good enough.
I'm going to agree with you on a 1, and that's honestly largely down to the Randy Orton match. Seth and Randy, you know, that's worth a watch this week, so I'll give it a 1 on that basis, but there was not a lot here for me.
No, I like second, if not third week of SmackDown just being utter tripe as well, which has obviously been the better show for a while, so, you know, Raw has been doing a good job of kind of actually being somewhat entertaining for about a third of the show for once, whereas SmackDown's just not being.
It's a good solid hour of television, sadly. That's
yeah, almost like the good solid hour of wrestling we got at Elimination Chamber, even though it was a 3-hour live event. But anyway,
I know, yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, 1 out of 5 all round for WWE. moving swiftly over to
Roll on over, Carl.
AEW. So first highlight, CM Punk. Because I'm an old school wrestler mark, I love the throwback of this whole promo. CM Punk obviously earned the opportunity for a rematch with MJF. So, what was he going to do? That kind of thing. MJF talks about himself being Piper in Portland. So what do? You have a dog collar match, much like Roddy Piper and Greg Valentine. And, it's around Valentine's Day as well. So the iconic, will you be my Valentine Day, line. Yeah, fantastic. And then obviously off the back of this as well, he pulls out that picture and says to MJF, this was the best day of his life, but to Punk, it was Friday. And now, it's going to be the worst of his life. But, to Punk, it's just going to be Sunday. So, yeah, I love that. Little thing in there as well. He said the canvas isn't going to be stained with his shitty spray tan, but his blood. So, obviously, it's really hyping it up, the fact this is going to be a brutal match. And I can't wait to see it. Obviously, it's definitely been a blood feud, hasn't it? It's been going on for ages. So,
you know what? Say what you want about Punk. I know some people have been like, "Oh, he's missed a beat since he's been away" and all this. I absolutely, and this is probably the old timer in me, but I love the he's constantly like referencing or doing like a bit of a throwback to like the glory days of wrestling. I fucking love that. Like all the little nods he's putting in matches. You end up looking out for it now, don't you? Like, say,
exactly.
What has he mirrored? What has he done in this match? Because he's done so many different references to like Brett and stuff in the past. It's like,
it seems like he's just enjoying wrestling again. Do you know what I mean? I think
exactly.
He said he left professional wrestling when he left Ring of Honor, and I think he has actually come back to wrestling now because he's really enjoying it, isn't he? So
yeah, but I'm loving the enthusiasm there at the minute. He's obviously older. You might be able to look at it and go, he's not got the pace he had in WWE. Maybe not, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, fantastic promo, fantastic match, and it's going to be a hell of a brutal affair, I would say, at Revolution. So yeah, big thumbs up from me.
Indeed. Well, Carl, while we're throwing out compliments, mates, the next one is Bryan Danielson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for starters, he's just fucking brilliant, isn't he? He's like doing an absolutely fantastic job as a heel. He's fantastic in the ring. He's a fucking technician, right? And you know what? He's one of the best wrestlers today. I'll say one of, to be careful to people listening. He's one of the best wrestlers today. But I was so impressed when he turned heel, like literally on the fucking head of a pin. Do you know what I mean? It's just such a sudden and quick and effective heel turn. I was impressed by that alone. But the fact that he's just I actually prefer him as a heel. He's such a good heel. It's and you forget that until he starts being one again.
Yeah, it's like he's like a proper old school heel as well. Like he does do some really good shit talking on the mic, but it's just like his actions and stuff like that. Like when he was choking out Moriarty in this, and he was just like just do the little flex pose and stuff. It's just like just classic heel kind of shit that you would do. So
let's face it, he was such the natural heel. He got fired from WWE one time for shoving a tie down someone's throat.
Well, yeah, that
we all forget about that.
And he's there in AEW with him now, so he needs to be careful. But no, yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think he's definitely one of the best wrestlers, going today. He's just phenomenal at what he does, and the fact that he's been able to get this character work from a heel standpoint in there as well. It's just another side of him and another layer to add to his kind of arsenal. So yeah, massive fan of Danielson, and yeah, really good match. And sticking with him, in fact, the next one I want to talk about, not even moving away from him, he gets two highlights this week. I loved the post-match thing with Moxley. Moxley comes out and basically, obviously, as we know, Danielson wants to form some kind of stable with him and, get some of the best young up-and-comers and take them under the wings and stuff like that. And Moxley basically came out and said, look, I'm not saying yeah, I'm not saying no, but let's put it this way. I've never stood beside someone that I haven't bled with. So, in other words, they're going to have a fucking match as well, probably at Revolution, another bloody encounter, and basically maybe then he'll think about it and maybe we will go that route. So, I like the fact that he hasn't just come out and gone, nah, and he hasn't come out and gone, yeah. It's up in the air, but we know we're going to get a match where how's that going to go and what's the repercussions of it all going to be?
I'm quite nervous. Like, I hope I'm never in a queue with Moxley.
It's a very good point.
Listen, I've never stood. I was like, no.
you go in front, Mr. Moxley. But yeah.
No, definitely. It's you know what? I'm not gonna lie, yeah. Like, I know they're probably eventually gonna get to that destination of them being a team and setting up this faction, if you will. But no, I'm all for them to having a match. That's gonna be fucking awesome.
Oh yes.
Awesome, girl. Speaking of awesome, that's right, segues. Right. As always, Carl, to be expected, Thunder Rosa going up against Mercedes Martinez. It was going to be a banger of a match. It was a fucking banger of a match. Highlight from me.
Yes. She's a hardcore motherfucker, isn't she, Thunder Rosa? Let's be honest. Doesn't give a shit. She will throw herself through anything, take, a hit over the head with anything. I love the way she came out in their little Kill Bill attire as well. Like, just nice little thematics like that. But obviously this is a match where you knew the pair of them were just going to give each other hell, and they definitely did as well. So now, obviously, we're finally, long-term storytelling, folks. We're now going to get to the Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker match that has been, many a month in the making since that Lights Out match.
I mean, come on. Thunder Rosa is a future champion in that company. There's no two ways about it, man.
This might be her moment, let's be honest. Britt's had it for a while now. So
I'm careful. I didn't want to jinx it, so I was wearing it carefully, but it's got to be, man. It's got to be.
Well, who knows? Let's find out Revolution. But yeah, definitely a highlight. I think she was killing it. Mercedes Martinez as well, fantastic job. So I like where it's kind of going as well, where I could see them two teaming up now, to be fair, because obviously Britt's got a little stable. Mercedes didn't get the job done, so obviously a little bit of a turn on Mercedes there. So
I wouldn't be tremendously shocked though if you get to that match between Thunder and Britt and Mercedes actually saves the day in a sense. You know what I mean? Because you say, she's outnumbered really, Thunder. So I could see that. It's a fair point.
Mm-hmm. So the next one I want to talk about. A Wardlow squash match. We all love him, except in this case, this was probably one of his toughest tests in a while. He took on Max Caster, and everybody loves the Acclaimed. So, yeah, loving this match. Love the fact that Max kind of gave him a little bit more of a go than a lot of the other enhancement talent would typically do. And all in all, put on a good match. There was a moment there where I actually thought, that Wardlow was getting screwed out of his entry into the Face of the Revolution match, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's going the best wrestler in the world or anything at this point, but I was quietly impressed with Max there. You don't see a lot of him in ring work. You'd give Bowens the wrestler elements of their team, don't you? But no, he's looking better there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely got the chops. He's big, man. I didn't realize how big he was. He was nearly on par with Wardlow in terms of size. So yeah, he's a big bastard too.
Just stop talking shit about him, is what you're saying.
Basically, yeah. I'm saying even if you did beat him in a rap battle, he would beat your ass in a real battle. That's what I'm saying. So
fair play.
Be careful with that. But yeah, love Wardlow, love the Acclaim. So big highlight from me.
Fair enough. Next one, Carl, House of Black, and I've got to be honest, colour me intrigued here. Got another vignette, but who are we waiting for?
Who are we waiting for? It's been alluded to, hasn't it? I don't know whether this is right or not, but it could be Mr. Buddy Murphy himself. There's obviously there was a knock, wasn't there, at the door, and people are going, well, he was the one who knocked on the door on Raw. Sorry, I'm getting into me Max Caster at the moment. But he's the last person to knock on Alice's door, I think, before he, when he was doing that little moody thing where he sat in the dark and people would knock on his door to fight him. So, yeah.
Okay. It's one way of looking at it, I suppose. I wouldn't be totally upset if it is, but he's got potential. He kind of got saddled with some difficult gimmicks in WWE and then left. So I don't think he ever really got his opportunity there, but he's definitely got potential. So it wouldn't be the biggest pop in the world if it ends up being him, but they could definitely do something with him.
Yeah. I'm still surprised they haven't done anything with Julia Hart yet. You feel like that's coming soon. But
maybe, man. Maybe.
Interesting. But yeah, solid promo, solid kind of vignette. So yeah. Intrigued, colour me intrigued, as you say, right down the left side of my face, just like us. So the next highlight I want to talk about, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin. These two are legends. I've said it before, they always put on a fantastic match. It wasn't their best match they've ever done in terms of, I think they've had 3 or 4, but it was still fantastic. They put everything into it, don't they?
Yeah.
And they literally go hell for leather in every single match that they have. So thoroughly enjoyed it, and yeah, not much else to say about it really. Just two solid guys from the Four Pillars going, showing what AEW is all about still. Yeah. On their third.
All about them pillars, mate. Yeah.
All about them pillars.
Was Cody ever a pillar?
No, he's a pillock.
Oh, pillock. Sorry, that was it. Yeah. Savage. I'm just wondering, we've still got our pillars, haven't we? I keep forgetting who the pillars are.
Adrenaline in my soul, all 4 pillars, Cody Rhodes.
Have you seen that Dark Order one? On the Dark Order vlogs, they try singing Cody's theme in one of their vlogs. It's from a while back actually, and they do that. Adrenaline in my soul, something, Cody.
It's become a meme in itself now. Like obviously since he's left as well. Like if you go on Reddit or anywhere like that, they're all just stuff like that. Just everything seems to rhyme and fit with it. It's fantastic.
It's just a great theme. Great theme.
It is.
So Carl, last one for me will be, and I will keep it brief because she got a mention last week, and deserves another one this week. So it's none other than Serena Deeb and her 5-minute challenge. Again,
oh yes.
What can we say about Serena that we've not already said, man?
Yeah, so it's one of them, similar to the 24/7 title where we could just leave it off because it's always so shit. We can leave this off because it's always a good show, but let's mention them. Do you know what I mean? Let's talk about them. Let's not let them. Might not have a lot to say, but just again another good show from Serena.
And if this, which would be weird, but if this alone makes you go back and watch it, then we've done our job.
Exactly.
Words.
We've done our job. We did.
Took his job.
Serena Deeb. Right. Anyway, so into the Oh Shites. So we've only got 2 this week. But firstly, Hangman. Adam Cole, I didn't actually mind the promo side of it at all. I am still really interested in seeing this as a feud, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I was just a little bit like, when he kind of, the Dark Order came out to make the save. And I love the Dark Order, and I love what we had with Hangman and Dark Order, but I kind of thought that was just done with now. Yeah, so I kind of don't want this to turn into another faction thing, because Hangman is a loner. He should be a loner. And no,
I totally agree with that. I feel like they've box themselves into a corner because Adam's got so many people, and it just wouldn't make sense why they wouldn't try and help him, especially because he's the heel in this scenario. I feel like they felt almost compelled to bring the Dark Order in to help Hangman, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's one of them though, isn't it? Because like if Hangman now goes, guys, I don't want your help, it's like, seen it. you did that one already, so it's like
did it.
I think you're right. They have boxed themselves into a corner. Yeah, I think they just shouldn't have. Yeah, they should have found a different way around it. Unfortunately, but don't get me wrong. Still super psyched for Cole versus Hangman, and I think it's going to be absolute money. But
as far as Oh Shites go, it's not a massive one, but it is. I think noteworthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last one, I think definitely, probably more deserving than yours. Actually, definitely an Oh Shite for me this week, Carl. Is we still don't have an answer as to what's going on with the Inner Circle. Are they done or not? At this point, I want them to be done. Just let us know.
Will we ever know? Will we ever know?
Probably not.
Like it's going to go for like another year now, where they're just completely separate, and then just randomly, it'll be like Chris Jericho calls an Inner Circle meeting, and we're like, what? I don't understand this. It's like,
does something quirky because he likes to think of new things, and he literally hands them all the notices.
Well, yeah, he's the what's he called?
Let's face it, AEW love taking a shot at WWE, apparently. So why doesn't he give them all the 90 days notice?
I mean, exactly. But yeah, he's going down.
Join another faction for 90 days. I could see them doing something like that.
He's going down the influencer now as his new gimmick, isn't it? For some reason. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think we said. I don't think he knows what that means, but cool. I'm all for him nice, doing TikTok dances and that. It works. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think we just need to know one way or the other. Is the Inner Circle a thing anymore? Is it done? What does it all mean? We didn't really get an answer. I get that we're setting up Kingston versus Jericho. I want to see that match, so that's cool. But it didn't, what's it mean for the Inner Circle now?
What does it mean?
So yeah, that was AEW this week, Anthony.
It was.
Ratings wise, I'm giving it 2.5 out of 5, right down middle of the road. I think a lot of good stuff. But yeah, I don't know. We haven't really pushed things on loads, I would say. It hasn't got a massive amount of momentum, but obviously we are on the road to Revolution. So I can see good things happening. But yeah, for me, it was definitely good, but I wouldn't say it was up to a 3.
Yeah, I'm probably with you again. In all fairness, 2.5 from me as well.
Perfect. Well, that was another glorious This Week in Wrestling. Yes, indeed. Obviously, join us for our other segments this week. We're going to be talking all the news. Not that there's that much, but we've gotten some news on the Ringside Report this week. We'll be talking our thoughts on Elimination Chamber. And we've got, boy, do we have some thoughts. And also, we've got an interesting interview this week. We're going to be talking about the upcoming convention for the Love of Wrestling, which takes place in April this year in Liverpool. So
if you're a local lad, it's one to listen to, definitely.
It certainly is. So yeah, we will see you on the Flippity Flip. Here's the one and only Thunder Rosa, the new #1 contender for the AEW Championship, to say bye.
Hey everybody, this is Thunder Rosa, and you're watching or listening A to the K. A to the K.
A to the K. A to the K.